Have you ever felt like websites are holding your privacy hostage? You try to reject cookies, but suddenly you're met with endless pop-ups, complex settings, or even paywalls. This sneaky practice is called pay to reject, and it's changing how we experience the internet. Let's dive in. So what is pay to reject? Pay to reject even is a tactic websites use to make rejecting tracking cookies inconvenient or even costly. And I've really experienced this. I'm avoiding naming names, but instead of simply reject, providing a reject all button, you're faced with complicated menus or worse, messages saying you need to pay a subscription to access content without ads or tracking. Honestly, it's happening. Like I said, it's happened to me on a very prestigious website. Long story short, I saw an ad, always drags us in. Saw an ad that was claiming that I could get cash back for a purchase I had made. And in a view to go for it, I got the consent message about cookies come up before I could go further. And I believed I had given enough information, but I didn't want to tick the box that said, you can contact me using my email. And I clicked next to proceed, and it won't let me. Came up with a red message saying required boxes unticked. I don't want to consent to that information. It's as simple as that. But it won't let me go on. And that's just vaguely how it works. But let's look at it in general. Websites deliberately make this process complex. Some even hide the reject option in submenus, while the accept all button is big and bold. Restricted access is also another thing that you associate with this behavior. Some sites will block content or even limit functionality unless you accept their tracking cookies. Ridiculous. And then the biggest of them all are paywalls. Others say reject cookies, fine, but pay for an ad-free experience. So I have to pay to proceed. Scandalous, really. These tactics, as you have seen, pressure you into giving up your precious data, even if you'd rather not. And I hear many of you ask, so why is this a problem? Why is this a big deal? It undermines your rights. Laws like the GDPR that I keep going on about and CCPA are supposed to make rejecting cookies just as easy as accepting them. But pay to reject skirts this by exploiting loopholes. It also puts privacy behind a paywall, leaving you and I, who cannot afford it, with fewer choices. So I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking, or at least showing you how to protect yourself. Okay? Just 3. I'm not going to bore you. All right? Let's look at the first one, as you can see on the screen. Use privacy-focused browsers. Browsers like Brave or Firefox have tracker blockers. They block trackers by default. The Googles of our age and Safari don't do that by default, and they should, if they've not already started thinking about it. But Brave as a browser and Firefox will definitely block this behavior by default. We have a second point, as you can see, enable privacy extensions. I know this is quite geeky, but we'll get to your one, you know, the lightweight ones of the community. But enabling privacy extensions, tools like Privacy Badger or uBlock Origin, they help block unwanted cookies, you know, and allow you proceed or don't proceed. You know, it's not always compulsory to go further, especially when they make it difficult. Okay. Now, like I promised, the third one, as you can see, is know your rights. Know your rights. Familiarize yourself with privacy laws in your region and report non-compliant sites. Yes, report them so that they'll stop this behavior. In fact, there's so many places or websites I visit that I find some dodgy work going on just for you to accept them using your information without your consent. You know, they make it so difficult. They hide things under submenus and you think you're not accepting, but you are. And so you know that the channel has always recommended configuring your settings. Don't accept all. If anything, reject all. But we know that there's some cookies that need to be downloaded or applied to allow functionality. We accept that. We've kind of reached a conclusion on that. But every other cookie needs my consent. And the more difficult you make it, the more likely I'll move on. Okay? So you can see, remember that if a site demands payment for privacy, please think twice about using that site. It is not worth the risk. Okay? So to allow this grow in awareness and to promote engagement, we would like you to share your experiences in the comments. You notice how slightly animated I've been. I got a comment from a visitor the other day that I was boring. Nothing could be further from the truth, but hey, constructive criticism, I've taken it on board. If they say I'm boring, then I'm going to, you know, liven things up a bit. But you can help. Share your experience in the comments. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more tips on protecting your family in the digital world. Paid to reject is a growing concern, but with the right tools and awareness, you and I can take back control, which is the premise of this wonderful, wonderful community. We can take back control of your privacy. All right? Stay informed, stay safe, and see you in the next video. I've been your host, Lawrence Edem. Until next week, God bless and goodbye. How is that for animated? Well.